financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Brian Small, good morning.
Good morning, Ken. Pleasure to be here this morning.
Jeffrey Linden.
Good morning.
Pat Samasco.
Hi, how are you?
Today's topic is Pat takes on the State Attorney General.
Bring it on.
Do you have a fight going on with the State Attorney General?
Oh, they hate me.
They could. It's not possible. Did they know you were a professor?
We actually did talk about that because a nice fair fight is always great. You want to litigate your issues. You want to be compassionate and passionate about what you're arguing about, and trying to teach that to the law students about how to do it appropriately and ethically. It's every case has a loser and a winner, right? So the whole idea is how you do it fairly and
yeah, that's the thing that I've always found to be somewhat, I don't want to say amusing, but troubling, or I sometimes pondered, is every single case in a lawsuit has opposite views.
Right.
But whatever side that we're on, that I'm representing, is always the right side.
You know, I'm going to tell you, I got out of being a general practice civil lawyer because I couldn't stand fighting with the other lawyers. In the old days, you would fight your case, and it seemed like lawyers started trying to win by beating up the other lawyer, not the case or the facts or the law. Attack the other lawyer, and started being a profession. It started to be win at all costs.
Personal.
Yeah,
I agree. It went from we're going to argue the case against each other, and when we take a break, let's go get lunch together, to arguing the case against each other, taking a break and continuing to argue in the hallway, continuing to argue in the elevator, and it became personal.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, I need an adjournment. Screw you.
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing. It's just...
I an older lawyer who I became friends with when I was probably in my late 30s, early 40s, was telling me about how the practice of law used to be.
Well, Abe Lincoln used to do it differently.
This is a guy, he's now in his mid 80s. So he was practicing in the mainstream.
So close to your age.
Everything downtown Detroit, everything circled around downtown. The judges and the lawyers would argue in court in the morning. They'd go to lunch together, and then they'd go back to court later in the day.
Yeah.
Business transactions, like selling the Penobscot building, is what he was telling me about, would be a 10-page agreement.
Right.
And if you change something major in the agreement and record with carbon papers, your secretary would go crazy on you. So what they would do is they'd write little side agreements on the documents and initial it. They'd shake hands and deals were done.
Why did it change? That computer right there. Everything went to 10,000 pages.
And probably too many lawyers.
Yeah.
But I've found something I don't want to say in the twilight of my career, but as I've gotten older, I'm finding that when I am litigating a case, it depends on who my adversary is. If the attorney that is on the other side is older and has been around longer, you have a greater sense of, it's easier to establish a rapport and work with them sometimes. It's the young lawyers.
I gotta prove it.
Come on, use it. Whippersnapper.
They're trying to prove themselves, or they're lacking the experience of how you really get to a resolution. And instead they're trying to wrestle with you. That puts you through kind of needless aggravation. And the point that clients need to understand is needless aggravation that lawyers costs a lot of money for the client. When someone hands you 100 pages of interrogatories, two things are going to happen as a result of it. One is it's going to take you a long time to answer them, and it's going to cost your client a lot of money. And you are going to hand the other side 101 pages of interrogatories. because there is a law in the practice of law that says, do unto others.
Oh, yeah.
Before
And-
they do unto you.
Yes, and or reverse, and don't get mad, get
Get
even.
even, yeah.
That was one of the things that I learned in law school. Anyway, so I'm going to make up the name of the case to protect the privacy of clients, but we'll call the case Smith versus Smith.
Oh, that's original.
So thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well-
is it a divorce? What are we talking about?
So
What's
this
going
is the
on?
case. So
Unless you're the
Medicaid,
Smiths.
nursing home. Medicaid helps pay the nursing home. And the one benefit of COVID, all nursing homes became Medicaid nursing homes. So you think they're going to throw you down in some dump. It's the same nursing home, whether on private pay or Medicaid. So the Medicaid rule is this. The married couple, house is a protected asset, and half of the assets up to $130,000, let's say. Or whatever the court-ordered amount for support is, spousal support or support. The federal government says that a judge can determine that support the spouse at home is entitled to support to take care of herself. If she spends all the money taking care of her husband, there won't be any money to take care of her. So the idea is
so the
that
support number is any
any
number.
dollar amount that the court determines.
So in other words, backing up, if you do nothing and your spouse goes into a Medicaid bed, they're going to take the money that you have in your household,
Yeah.
not just the spouse's, all the money in the
Right.
household. They're going to leave you with a house and about $130,000.
Yeah, so let's say you have 300,000 retirement accounts, bank accounts, stock, everything. So 130,000 is protected, and then 170,000 would go to the nursing home, unless the court orders support. And it's a federal law, and this is the thing that just burns my butt. If I apply for Medicaid and we have $131,000, Medicaid says, no, you're over assets, you're denied. That's the
They
rule.
don't
If I-
just knock out the
That's-
$100,000.
No, you're over assets until, it doesn't matter until
So
you
you're just
spend
denied.
it. But that's the rule. We go into court, the federal law and the state law says whatever the court ordered support is protected.
So there's no spot on the form to put in the support number?
There is a spot. But
They
the
ignore it?
Attorney General says, no, that's not fair, that's not right.
All right, we're going to take a break. We can come back and explain that a little bit further on,
Yeah.
because I'm still not clear. We'll take a
Yeah.
break. We'll be right back. We have a program. We've already developed it and put it in place, and we've been waiting for the rollout for the moratorium to go down. It's called the Eviction Defense Program, the EDP by THAV GROSS, and we've developed it and put it in play. But here's the big point, which you were making. You're going to get evicted if you're a tenant, and you need to get on top of this, and you need to defend it, and you need to do everything you can to protect your interests. And the last thing that you want to do is do nothing. COVID-19 presents a fight for our personal and business financial survival. You have to make choices. Cash is critical. Do you tap your retirement, home equity line, or run up the credit cards? You need the right plan to avoid being wiped out, and you need it now. You can't rely on the government or banks. Call us. We're the experts in financial crisis. We were here for you and your business in the Great Recession, and we're here for you now. We'll create a plan and get through this together. THAV GROSS will solve your problem.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
You're all set to retire. You have your home paid off, money in the bank, and sound investments. But if you're not careful, all the things that you work so hard for can disappear. At Samasco Financial, we'll help you prevent that. We go beyond ordinary asset management. We'll safeguard everything that you have by creating a plan made specifically for you. How much can you afford to lose? Nothing. Protect the people that you love and the things that you have. Call Samasco Financial today.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. but you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
Okay, we're back. So kind of explain it.
So the underlying unfairness is if the rule says you're $1 over, you don't get Medicaid. But if I follow the rules and I say I'm $1 doing it my way, Medicaid said that's not fair, it's not proper.
So when they say it's not fair, what happens then?
Well, what they do is they interjected themselves into our court-ordered support case, which is completely improper.
Wait, what court order?
So we have to go to
Explain
court.
to me about the court case.
We don't get, so how you get support, spousal support, or you go
You
into...
can't just say, I need to support my spouse. You have to go to court to do this?
You go to court and you're not getting divorced. You say, hey, husband's here, wife's at home, we need the money, we want the money to support her for the rest of her lifetime, so the judge orders support.
So what kind of case? It's not a divorce.
It's a family court. It's not divorce. You never get divorced.
What do you call the complaint? Complaint
for spousal support.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just the same philosophy, but you're not getting divorced. I've never had a client get...
It's not like a separation or anything.
It's a separate maintenance agreement is based on. So all the different names for the same thing.
But you can still be married.
Yeah.
You don't have to plead that you don't like each other.
Would you let me talk, Ken?
Sure, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Judge, hold him in contempt.
I'm
so
the judge.
The idea is, well, that's the kind of thing that's going on with the state right now. They're interjecting where they're not even allowed to be in here because this is the rules. But what they did, which really got me bummed, is that we have a Medicaid application that we filed in January, and they have to approve it or deny it within 45 days. They held it hostage. They were unhappy with the court order. Instead of saying we deny it, we're not reacting on it.
Pause for a second. So you went into court, you got the spousal order for support, you then submitted it to Medicaid, and they're supposed to either accept or reject within 45 days, and they just
sat on it and filed a Court of Appeals case, and we're fighting it out.
So they actually filed a Court of Appeals case?
Yeah, so that's the process.
Who filed a Court of Appeals case?
So we went to court, we got our order for support. When we submitted the order to the Medicaid office, the Attorney General came in and said, that's not right, that's not fair.
The State Attorney General.
Yeah, the State Attorney General, even though it's allowed under the federal law. We won at that level. They appealed it to the Court of Appeals. That's still pending. But they keep saying that we don't want to act on this order for support, even though they're supposed to do it within 45 days.
So wait, they appealed your circuit court or family court order that they weren't a party to?
Yes.
Within the 21 days?
Yes.
And they have standing to do
No,
that?
they don't,
Right.
and that's all I did.
That's probably the argument in front of the Court of Appeals.
That is the argument. They're not arguing.
So are they arguing that they have standing because the state administers the Medicaid program? Is that their
They're
argument?
saying that they're the 900-pound gorilla. Whatever they say controls, and whatever they want to do, they can do, even though all the law is against them. But the problem was they were holding this Medicaid application hostage.
So your particular client, the Smiths, don't get, so what happens to the Smiths?
The nursing home yells at them every time they're walking through the hall, where's my money, where's my money, where's my
so you're
money?
not paying.
We weren't paying because it's not appropriate.
But the nursing home's not evicting them.
No,
Yeah.
but they still yell at them. They don't yell at them, but they understand that, hey, we're not getting paid and there's this bill going up. And the Attorney General says, we don't care what the bill is. We'll deal with that 2 years down the line or 3 years down the line or 1 year down the line.
Does the nursing home that has accepted them as a potential Medicaid client have to keep them there, or do they have the right to evict
No,
them?
that's a good thing. They have to keep them there, but it doesn't alleviate the stay-at-home wives losing sleep every night, worrying about it and worrying
people
about
don't like getting bills and stuff like that.
So last week, we appealed their decision not to work on the Medicaid application, not approve it or deny it within 45 days. And long story short, they approved our Medicaid application.
How did you appeal that?
Well, there's a rule in the Medicaid that if you don't act on the Medicaid application within 45 days, that's the ghost of the Attorney General. So if you don't act within 45 days, we can appeal their decision for not acting. Administratively. And they fought it and fought it and fought it, and we won all of their trying to delay it and trying to delay it.
So this is on your other cases?
Yeah, no, on the current cases.
So
we forced them to act on the Medicaid application. We forced them to accept the court order that's in place, and we got Medicaid approved back to January.
So the only one that's contested is the Smith versus Smith one?
No, that's still at the Court of Appeals. They're still saying that that's not an appropriate order and fairness and blah, blah. We're saying they don't have standing. But the answer is that we got Medicaid paid right now, the nursing home bill.
Are they coming in on every case that you're doing?
They're not coming on any of them. They're just looking at this case that as a test case.
All right, so you got this case, because you go this route where you're going the separate maintenance in the order. Isn't there also a procedure through the probate court that how does that work?
So
and how is that different?
So it's the same thing as the Medicaid office has to accept an order for support. So the other lawyers in the state of Michigan, they go to probate court. And so if Dad's in probate court, he has a number of interested parties. Everybody's fighting over the same bucket of money. Dad, Mom, the nursing home, the Attorney General, the lawyer, the creditors. Everybody under the sum is defined as an interested party under the definition.
Sure. Kids too, right?
Everybody.
Yeah.
So the Attorney General has the right to stand there and says, you know what, it's not does Mom want the money, you have to prove that Mom needs the money, right? There's a lot of hoops you have to jump through. The way we do it is, in family court, there's only parties, the husband and the wife.
Right.
No one's allowed.
And a judge, that's it.
Well, even the judge has to accept the parties' agreements, and everybody's agreeing that this is the appropriate thing, that the money should be there to take care of Mom.
So are your matters in the family court, these are consensual agreements between the parties? Between Mom and maybe Dad's power of attorney.
Yeah, which is his son or daughter or someone, because Mom would have a conflict of interest.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I want to kind of put this whole thing into the big picture of how the Medicaid app works and how people go about it and why they need to get Medicaid to cover nursing home expenses.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
I love you too. Bye-bye.
That was Jerry. Emma
just said her first word.
Oh.
Jerry says hello and they'll be over soon.
Who's Jerry? Is he a friend of yours?
No. This Jerry. Our Jerry. And this is his wife and their little girl.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. So I want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 o'clock a.m., Saturdays 7 o'clock a.m., and on KISS 105.9, 7 o'clock Sundays every morning. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. We do them via Zoom conferences, teleconference, or in office with proper social distancing in place during COVID. Just call 888-235-HELP or go online and sign up. Debt issues with Brian, tax issues with Jeff and Brian, estate planning issues with Brian, business issues with myself, elder law issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Just come in, request a free consult. We're happy to help you out. Our free consults are not meet and greets. We analyze your problem, we look at it, we come up with the solution that you need to do so you know what the method and process is to solve the problem, what it costs, and what the time frame is. Easiest way is just call us, 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. We'll get you in and go over it. We have free reports on the websites. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by myself and Jeff Linden. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formation, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And also The Retiree's Guide to Social Security from Pat Samasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Samasco Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
We have a program. We've already developed it and put it in place, and we've been waiting for the rollout for the moratorium to go down. It's called the Eviction Defense Program, the EDP by THAV GROSS, and we've developed it and put it in play. But here's the big point, which you were making. You're going to get evicted if you're a tenant, and you need to get on top of this, and you need to defend it, and you need to do everything you can to protect your interests. And the last thing that you want to do is do nothing. All right, so let's put this a little bit in context, Pat, in terms of Medicaid. So the first thing that causes this process to be triggered is one of the two spouses needs nursing home care, right?
Right.
And what does that run? What does that expense cost typically?
Well, so it's about, the average is about $8,500 a month right now. And people say, I can't believe you're doing Medicaid planning. We went to everyone should pay their own bill. We went to the legislature in Lansing, and I came up with a 5-point thing to help fix the Medicaid budget. And all of a sudden they said, that's not our problem. The Nursing Home Association fought it. Everything they didn't. So we went home and said, you got to protect yourself. You can't rely on.
What's the average stay that you're in the
about 32 months.
All right, so it's 32
It's
months
big money.
at $10,000 a month would be $320,000.
Right, yeah.
So you definitely have that. And what's the likelihood that you're going to end up in a nursing home?
A third of us will be in the nursing home.
Really, no matter what happens. All right, so
people are living longer. They're not living
people
healthier.
are faced with that situation. They come to you and they're saying, how do I manage the cost? And your solution is to make them eligible for Medicaid?
Yeah. So the idea, the mom comes in and she is just devastated because she has to put her husband in the nursing home, which is the thing that she promised her whole life that she wouldn't do. But she just can't take care of him anymore. He's walking out the front door, he's incontinent, he's verbally abused, he's physically abused. So number one, she's devastated. Now she thinks she's going to lose every dime of her money. She spends it all on
her support.
Yeah, she needs to take care of her. So we say we can protect every dime of your money. Mom, we can protect every dime.
And that brings you into this need to go to circuit court in circumstances?
Well, there's a lot of different ways that we can do it. One way is going to circuit court and asking for an order of support. And it's allowed under the law if you say, and it's right in there, the dollar amount that's protected is half of the assets up to $130,000 or the amount of the order of support. And it's the circuit court or a probate judge has the right to say this order of support is the appropriate amount.
And then that way you can increase over that $130,000.
Right. Yeah.
So what about Jerry the bartender says all you have to do is transfer your assets 5 years earlier?
You can absolutely do that.
Well, then why if we listen to Jerry, then what do we need to worry about all
Which
this?
spouse are you transferring to?
No, it's not that. You have to do it 5 years before you're in the nursing home. When
So-
you going in, Ken?
I'm not going in.
Well, then that's everybody's Medicaid plan. Everybody has a Medicaid plan. I'm never going to the nursing home.
So
And
I don't understand.
nursing
5 years
homes are
now-
full of people that are never going to the nursing
So there's no
home.
need for me to transfer anything.
That's right.
And then all of
Dying
a
is-
sudden,
And
I am
who
going
are
in the
you
nursing
transferring
home.
it to,
Ken,
by the way?
dying is never a problem. Dying is never.
It's living.
Living is
And
a
Who
problem.
are you transferring it to 5
So
years
if you,
in
okay,
advance?
again, married couples, we can protect it immediately. We don't need the 5 years. This is the problem. Dad doesn't go to the nursing home because mom did a wonderful job taking care of dad. Now she's a single person. He
She
died.
needs to go.
We need 5 years to protect her money. But the way that we do it, we don't do revocable trust. We use the irrevocable trust, and irrevocable trust protects the money from the nursing home. But we need to do it 5 years before she's in the nursing home. But the more important thing, a third of us will be in a nursing home, right? How many of us will be exposed to financial exploitation? Mom's got dementia. You're going to hire the nurse to come in to take care of her. The
the irrevocable trust protects
Oh
her
my God!
for that.
The financial exploitation, the Facebook crooks,
Right.
the telephone scammers.
1 minute left. Of all the documents that we talk about in estate planning, what's the most critical one that you have to make sure mom and dad have so that you can do the planning you
Financial power of attorney.
need? And why is that?
Because if we don't have that tool, we need to go to probate court and ask the judge permission, and it becomes a total nightmare. You need and it's not just having a power of attorney, because most people have one. It's that paragraph that says, my daughter can do Medicaid planning, my daughter can do transfers, my daughter can go to court, blah, 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 to help protect it.
So the point being is, if you have that durable power of attorney in place, and then mom or dad then have dementia and can't act, you can have the agent on the power of attorney can transfer the assets, and you can do the planning you need.
Right, exactly.
So when will you know the outcome of this circuit court case of the appeal?
2 years.
All right. Well, we'll be the first to know, I assume.
You will
when
be
that
the
case
first to
concludes.
know. You'll be the first, unless I'm in the nursing home.
Pat, thanks for bringing us up to speed on it. We wish you luck in the pursuit. You're looking out for all of us. Everybody have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.